So my phone storage expired, so I had to clear up some space to finish the video. Um, but where I left off was I was talking about how we can always push harder than we think we can. And Goggins talks about this being the 40% rule, where when you think that you are at your wit's end, where you have nothing else to give, you're probably, the average human is about 40% of what they're capable of. And when we decide to push past that, we end up getting a little further of what we're capable as humans and a little further. So I don't know what percentage I'm able to give at my capacity. I don't think I'm nowhere near 100%. Probably a little past 40% now, but I don't know, maybe half, who knows. And one thing that my coach talked about, actually my sports psychologist and my Ironman coach kind of said the same thing in different ways was, you spend all this time training, hours and hours and hours and months, and on race day, it's your time to, you know, earn the fruits of that labor, to express all of that training and all of that hard work on race day. It's a form of expression. Some people talk about that, this is a chapter of their life. Like this Ironman training and the performance on race day is a chapter of my life. I like to also think of it as like a work of art. It's an expression. I get to paint a picture out in Sacramento that day. And I still feel like there's a part of me out there still riding my bike, swimming in the river, and running in on the river walk in Sacramento. And my Ironman coach talked about it as, that it's almost like you're building a hot rod and fix this camera a little bit. And you're building your hot rod, you're working on it for months and months and years and years and years, and you finally got it tuned up and ready, and then now it's time to put the keys in the ignition and go for a ride. And that's what it's like on race day. I worked so hard, and I'm able to put the keys into ignition and go for a joyride and see what my body is capable of. Our body can be think of as a vehicle, and how else are we going to be able to really figure out what our bodies can do without pushing it to some extreme or another? Or else you'll never, if you don't do something like this in your lifetime, then how are, you've been given this gift of a body, how are you using it? How are you exploring your body? It doesn't have to be through triathlon, Ironman training, it could be through different avenues, but I think that's one of our gifts on this earth, is exploring what our bodies can do. And speaking about what our bodies can do, I saw a lot of different people on race day when I was out there. And what I've learned is that there is no one type of person that does and completes an Ironman. There was finishers that were in their 70s and 60s, there was everyday people out there, women, men. Some people look like they're in good shape. Some people were a little chubby, and you're like, I saw one lady that I was super impressed with. That there was a point where I was kind of leapfrogging with her because I would stop at an aid station or I would walk for a little bit and she would pass me. And she was like a short, little chubby older lady, like maybe in her 50s, and she's just going strong. And I'm like, man, if she can do it, I can do it. And, eventually I passed her, but I was just a little moment of like, she seems like an everyday mom that had a goal and a dream, and she's out there doing it. And I saw one person, he was blind. They were attached by a rope on the swim with a guide. He rode a tandem bike, and on the run, him and his guide both held a rope where they were attached and running together and using verbal cues as they ran. There was one guy who I didn't see him on the swim, but I saw him on the bike and the run. He had no legs. He was doing the bike with the arms. And one other guy who laid down on the bike and using the arms, I think he was paralyzed from the waist down. And they're out there on the run course on the wheelchair. So me and Keiko were talking about, and something that a quote that we like, and that is, you'll either find a way or find an excuse. You know, if you want something and you want to do it, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse. When I saw an everyday people out there on the Ironman course, when I saw the blind gentleman and the paraplegic and the two paraplegic people out there on the Ironman course, if these people can do it and accomplish this big goal, then what's my excuse? You know, there's no excuse. If there's something that you want, you'll either find a way or you'll find an excuse. And it was very inspiring to see those people out there and doing that Ironman, and it really gave me an extra boost of confidence for myself that, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. We all can do it. I 100% believe that that I believe that anybody is capable of doing an Ironman. You know, there was one gentleman who pushed around, which was like a handicapped, an adult male that he would push around. I don't know if it's his son or someone that he knows, but he was pushing him around throughout the whole race. I didn't see him on the swim, but I saw him on the bike with he had like a wheelbarrow kind of attachment, same thing on the run. So, you know, that person was not physically able to do the race, but he was able to be there with his loved one. And, you know, I just think that experience really opened up my eyes into what's actually possible. And that's actually the saying that Ironman, their slogan is, anything is possible. And I hope that this video recap really kind of gave you an idea of what my experience was like, kind of my mindset and all the hard work and training that went into it. I apologize for the part 1 and part 2 videos. I talked for about 45 minutes and then my phone shut off, so I wasn't gonna redo the whole video. So I'm just gonna add this little extra bits here at the very end if you wanna continue with the story. If you have any questions about my experience, or if you ever want to go on a swim, bike, or run together, or if you want to train jiu-jitsu, ask me personally, and I would love to, if there's a specific question that you have about my experience, please ask me personally, and I'd love to share that with you. So thanks for listening. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey. Thank you.